In the beginning, two brothers walked beneath heaven's gaze, but one heart would turn against the other. Genesis 4 retold. In the early days of the world, before kingdoms and cities, before war and glory, there were only fields, flocks, and the first family. Adam and Eve lived outside the garden, exiled, yet still watched by God's unseen hand. Their hearts carried both sorrow and hope, sorrow for what was lost, and hope for what might yet be restored. From them came two sons, Cain, strong, proud, a worker of the soil, and Abel, gentle, humble, a keeper of sheep. Both grew beneath the same sun, yet their hearts were shaped by different desires. Cain loved the earth, the feel of the soil between his fingers, the satisfaction of the harvest. Abel loved the quiet fields, the soft voices of lambs, the way creation seemed to breathe peace when the sun went down. One day, both decided to bring an offering before the Lord. It was an act of worship, a way to thank the Creator who had given them breath. Cain gathered the fruits of his labor, the grain, the produce, the best he could find from his crops. Abel chose from his flock a spotless lamb, the firstborn, the best he had. They built their altars side by side. The wind was still. The sky seemed to hold its breath. Abel bowed his head, whispering thanks. Cain looked up, proud of his work, waiting for heaven's approval. Then a light descended, a fire from the presence of the Lord. It consumed Abel's offering completely, but Cain's altar remained cold. No flame, no sign, no favor. Cain's heart began to darken. He looked at his brother, humble, peaceful, blessed, and jealousy burned inside him like fire. Why him? Why not me? He felt the sting of rejection, and bitterness took root.
God, in his mercy, spoke to Cain's heart. Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it.
But Cain would not listen. He let the whisper of envy drown out the voice of God. Each day he saw Abel, smiling, content, and the bitterness grew stronger. Come, let's go out to the field. Abel followed, trusting as always. The sun was setting. The air was quiet. Then, the ground trembled under the weight of sin. In a single, tragic moment, Cain struck his brother down. The first human blood spilled upon the earth. Then came silence. The wind stopped. Even the birds seemed to hold their cry. Cain stood over the body of his brother, breathing heavily, his hands trembling. He looked at what he had done and knew there was no turning back. Then the voice of the Lord came.
Cain, where is your brother Abel?
Cain swallowed, his voice shaking but defiant. I do not know, he said. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord answered,
What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries to me from the ground.
The ground that once gave Cain life would now curse him. His crops would fail. His home would be no more. He would wander, restless, a fugitive on the earth. But even then, God did not abandon him. Cain cried, My punishment is more than I can bear. Anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord, full of compassion, placed a mark upon Cain, a sign that no one should harm him. It was justice, wrapped in mercy, punishment, covered by grace. Cain left his family and went east of Eden. There the once proud farmer became a wanderer, haunted by the memory of what he had done. The sound of his brother's voice echoed in his dreams. Sometimes, when the wind blew through the fields, it seemed to whisper, Cain, where is your brother? Abel's blood had cried out for justice, but one day another blood would cry out for mercy. The blood of Christ, shed not by hatred, but by love. Where Abel's death exposed human sin, Christ's death would redeem it. Where Cain's mark meant protection, Christ's cross would mean salvation. The story of Cain and Abel still speaks today. It warns us of what happens when pride replaces humility, when jealousy replaces joy, when anger replaces love. Each of us faces the same moment Cain did, a voice inside saying, "Be careful, sin is crouching at your door." We all have a choice, to open that door or to master it with God's help. Perhaps Cain's greatest tragedy wasn't the murder. It was that he refused to repent. He turned from God's voice instead of running toward it. But you don't have to, because the story of Cain and Abel is not only about death, it's about redemption, warning us that even when we fall, God still calls. He still offers a way back. When we envy, He invites us to be grateful. When we hate, He calls us to love. When we fail, He gives us grace. The question remains, echoing through every generation.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, you are. We are called to look out for one another, to forgive, to love, to lift up the fallen and protect the weak. That is the way of the kingdom.
So when jealousy rises, pray. When anger burns, surrender it. When pride whispers, remember Cain. And remember the God who still speaks to wandering hearts, offering mercy to those who listen. Because even now, His voice still asks, "Where is your brother?" And His grace still answers,
Right here, Lord, forgiven, found, and loved.